Hi, I'm John Lincoln, CEO of Ignite Visibility, and today I'm going to be talking to you about one of my favorite digital marketing programs to run, and that is franchisee marketing programs. Over the last 10, 15 years, I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of different franchisees and the corporations that help facilitate all of this great franchisee work. And through this process, I've learned a great deal. So today, we're going to be walking you through how to properly set up your franchisee program, how to do marketing for the overall corporation that serves the franchisees, how to connect the two programs together. And I'm also going to walk you through a live example of one of the bigger franchisors out there, which is Dunkin' Donuts. So you can kind of get an idea for how they do their digital marketing. Full disclosure, they are not a client of ours. I thought I'd pick somebody who's not a client, so I didn't share any of their data. And then you're going to get an idea of what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, and we're going to kind of talk through some of the digital marketing things that they could be doing. So in the first part of this presentation, I'm going to walk you through all the different plans and packages and what that should look like for corporate as well as for the franchisees. We're going to talk through that a little bit. Then we'll get into this live example, and this will be a really valuable educational session for you so that you can think about, how do I want to structure my corporate digital marketing program and overall corporate marketing program to attract more franchisees, to communicate correctly with franchisees, to make sure that you've got the best view of the overall corporation in the public eye. And then in addition to that, how do you want to serve these individual franchisees? What packages do you want to be able to offer them from corporate? Which ones should they have to opt into? And we're going to go through each of the individual digital marketing channels that are going to be really interesting to them. So let's go ahead and dive into this. Today we're going to look at the Ignite Visibility 2023 Franchise Marketing Services first. So when it comes to franchisee marketing, search engine optimization is a huge deal. They all need dashboards so that they can see how the different digital marketing channels are working together. Paid media is critical, and there's a lot of different types of paid media that help. I'm going to get into that, help drive leads for franchisees. Social media marketing has to be part of the program. Email marketing is underutilized and can be a huge benefit. There's also conversion rate optimization. Creative is critical. I'm going to talk more about that. And then websites as well. I can't tell you how many times I see issues with the websites and the structure and how that's set up. I'm going to actually walk you through how the website should be set up properly today. Kicking things off, on the overall side, what's really important is that, you think of how you are serving these overall franchisees and try to create a family feel, try to create a feel of trust. You are looking out for them. They don't have to worry about the digital marketing side because you've brought in a partner who is so good and is so good at overall corporate communication to corporate stakeholders and so good at overall communication with individual franchisees and then groups of franchisees at your annual meetings and your monthly meetings, your quarterly planning, that you feel so confident in the partner that you can trust them to put together a great presentation. They can present to all your franchisees. It takes so much of the work off of you. It's a team feel with the agency, and you review everything that they create before they put it out there. So running the program and the communication is one of the biggest things. And what's so critical is that at the beginning, right when you're establishing everything, you set it up so that there is way too much communication. Like, you cannot cut corners on this. When you are onboarding a new agency, they should be totally open to communicating with individual franchisees. They should, at a minimum, hold a monthly meeting where everybody can show up and get an update. There needs to be a ticketing system. And when you do this and you start it out that way and you really get behind the agency, build the agency into your overall corporate and franchisee initiatives, it turns into a great, long-lasting relationship and that family feel, which is something that I think every franchisee and franchisor should strive for. So when you talk about search engine optimization, there needs to be corporate SEO. So that's trying to get ranked on the national level or the state level if you are only in a couple different states. And then there also needs to be local SEO. And the way the program's broken down is basically based off of your top national service terms and then the top questions, your brand as well, and then content marketing terms. On the location side, so this would be the individual franchisee page on your website. So example.com/state/city is generally how that's done. In some cases, there'll be multiple franchisees in a city. So when that's the case, you're going to structure that another slash off of that directory. But on the location side for the individual franchisee, you generally want to pick 3 to 5 high intent keywords around the product or service that they provide. Now, there could be 2 to 3 different keywords, and then you want to generally get in there best and then near me as well, because those are some of the biggest things that are searched. Now, this is really important because when you know your national terms and you know your 3 to 5 terms and the deviations on the location side, this actually sets up the whole foundation for everything that you're doing, right? Because this is what you're going to be tracking in your dashboards. You're going to be running paid media ads on these same terms. So you're going to be also tracking those keywords that you're running paid media ads on. This is what you're going to be reporting on inside of Google My Business keywords that are ranking. And in general, franchisees have high demand from a search intent perspective. And we want to work to eventually get these franchisees' location pages to be ranking in the top positions inside of Google for getting the largest amount of impression share on the ad side. So, when we're running ads, they're getting as much of that impression share as possible. And we want to make them the #1 choice online when somebody's doing a search for the product or service. Like, that's the type of energy that we want to bring in, right? So when somebody does a search for keyword best, not only do they show up inside of the HTML result, but they're showing up in the local pack as well. They're showing up inside the maps, and then I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but they're also going to be showing up in some cases if we're running the local service ads. They're going to be showing up in just general Google search ads. They're going to be showing up on all the review sites that are out there as well as the #1 choice. And that's going to make the franchisees so excited because they become that #1 choice online. They're getting the majority of the business. They're capturing the majority of the demand. And then, when they have money coming in from the ad fund that's fueling that, and the whole program is being fueled by this same type of digital marketing strategy, what happens is it lifts the overall franchise organization and it becomes a beautiful thing. When you're doing the quarterly reporting, the monthly reporting, everybody's seeing green, everybody's feeling good, and then you build that trust, and then that snowballs into what is the next phase, which is some of the awareness stuff that you can also do, which is also important as well as the franchise continues to grow. Now, dashboards are critical, and one of the things that I often see is a lot of people who are running the franchisor, they don't have good visualization, but they wish that they did. So we can build dashboards that allow you to see the overall corporate metrics. So everything that you care about for every digital marketing channel, the cost per acquisition, the number of leads coming in, tying that directly to your database, tying that directly to your CRM, whether you use Salesforce or Infusionsoft or whatever type of CRM. And so you can see the actual digital marketing channel, every single one that I'm going through. You can see the number of clicks, you can see the conversion rate, you can see the number of MQLs, marketing qualified leads, you can see the number of sales qualified leads, SQLs, the number of people who actually become a customer, and then how many different products that they've bought, all within one national dashboard, as well as other important things on the local side, such as Yext data, such as Google My Business data, such as keyword ranking data. And then the beautiful thing that we can do is we can actually take a filter and you can pick any of your locations and then you can apply all those same metrics to a location. So if you're talking to Tony, who lives in San Diego, and he runs a franchise, and he's calling you up and he says, hey, my metrics are down. You can just click a button, go to his page within the dashboard, and see all of his metrics right there. And that's really powerful for a corporate person who is working their tail off to try to serve franchisees to the best of their ability every single day. Now, on the local side, there's really an art to creating these dashboards and education as well. We create hundreds and hundreds of dashboards a year for franchisees, and it all starts off with the onboarding. So creating these dashboards, walking them through all the metrics, helping them understand it, helping them understand that they need to bookmark this so that they can come back to it later, creating an index of dashboards so that all the different dashboards for any different franchise are all in one area so that we can refer to them at any point in time. So, usually putting that in a Google Sheet, you open the sheet, you've got all of your different franchisee dashboards right there that you can take a look at. But building these out, I'm going to show you one later in this presentation, you'll be able to see all the different channels of traffic, and then you'll be able to see the number of leads that are coming in and the number of full conversions that are coming in, and we can customize these in any way you want. You can even put your customer service representative on there, contact information, throw a photo on there. There's a lot of different customizations we can do, and again, I'm going to show you a dashboard later in the presentation. Paid media might be one of the most important things. And so on the paid media side, here at Ignite, we manage approximately 100 million in paid media. You want to be running national ads and local ads. So the national ads generally are awareness-based, or they are to attract franchisees, and you can create a whole funnel for that. And then there's also a very big demand for supporting franchisees to get more employees. So sometimes they have franchises have really large issues with staffing, particularly in expert fields. But in general, I would say staffing is an issue. So generally, corporate is creating awareness plays. They are running ads to create awareness. They are running ads on popular service terms, and in some cases, creating a location page that then filters those leads into franchisees. There's a whole system around doing that. They're running ads to acquire new franchisees, and then they're running ads from a staffing perspective. So that's generally the role there. And then, that awareness is usually a big part of it, right? What's the brand? What's the story? Why is it compelling? That makes it so much easier to sign up a potential franchisee, and also makes the overall franchise perform well inside of the public eye as well. So really, really critical there. Now on the local side, it's generally more about the cost per acquisition and the ROAS. So there might be some general branding and awareness budget, but usually that's done on the city or most likely the state level. And that awareness budget, that's more of kind of the local side, comes from part of the ad fund. And, for example, maybe there is something that happened with the Padres inside of San Diego, right? Or the Giants inside of San Francisco. And there's a media buy there. But what's really, really powerful on the ad side is setting up a very clear cost per acquisition strategy and a ROAS-based strategy on the digital marketing side. So let me explain that a little bit. So basically, say each franchisee has $1,000 or $5,000, for example, to contribute to their paid media ads. You would work with an agency to say, okay, I want 500 of that to go to Google search ads. We're going to put 200 to go to YouTube remarketing. We're going to put 200 to go to Facebook awareness and 100 for Facebook remarketing. And then we're going to also run some local service ads. That's probably going to eat up the majority of your budget, right? Unless it's a bigger campaign. But regardless of if you're in 2 channels or 15 channels, and there are 15 channels that you could use here, Yelp's another really big one, for example, for local businesses, you would have in your dashboard the cost per acquisition and the ROAS and the amount of leads coming in from every different paid media channel that you're in. And then when you have that in one area, the franchisees can look at it and they might decide to go back to the agency and say, hey, take it from 1,000 to 5,000. And that's the type of relationship that you want to have, and then always measuring each of the different channels against each other based off of how much does it cost for a lead. Now, one thing I'll say is not just a lead, but a quality lead, right? It's all about quality, and that's why it's so important that you set up your tracking correctly at the beginning, and that you also make sure you set up not only your tracking for things like ROAS, but all the way to the database and who becomes a customer. Now, on the social media marketing side, corporate should have an overall social media marketing feel that feels great, right? And then that strategy, which is generally like celebrity endorsements or sporting events or something that just feels like a bigger entity, is then taken and then distributed to all the locations. So each location should have a couple posts a week, 3 or so, that come from corporate and that are distributed through all the different locations. And here at Ignite Visibility, we have a very large social media marketing department, and we currently run this program for hundreds and hundreds, all these programs for hundreds and hundreds of franchisees. And when you have corporate supplying things that then go out through all these different franchisee locations, and then they have a promoted post budget, you just think about the power of that, right? 200 locations, 3 posts a week. They all have followings on the local level. They're all doing a promoted post, 20 to $50, 3 times a week, getting in front of another 20,000 or 40,000 people. Think about how big of a push that makes throughout the entire internet. It's really exciting to watch. You start seeing a lot of referring site traffic coming in through Facebook, through Instagram, through TikTok. So social media marketing, absolutely critical, and one of the main things that people look for outside of SEO, outside of paid media, and then of course social media. Now on the email side, it's very important to have a segmented email program on the national side to send segmented emails to franchisees. So there should be a program where emails are going out to individual franchisees as well as potential franchisees, so people who haven't signed up yet. And then overall, you want to set up email automations as well. So email automations for people who want to sign up to become a franchisees, email automations for people who sign up for a franchisee product or service, and then you supply that email automation for them. So for example, if somebody signs up for an email automation from the Dunkin' Donuts in San Diego, corporate could supply the email automation, so the 5 to 10 different emails that go out in a series, so that the San Diego location can have those automatically sent out with things like fun things from Dunkin', discounts, the cards they're trying to push, holiday promotions, all the things that corporate really wants to have communicated to these franchisees' individual clients. Now, there's no issue there because Dunkin' franchisee, for example, would absolutely love it, because all of this just goes back to their page and it's just a huge benefit for them. So email is very underutilized here. Corporate needs to have a program where they're essentially sending emails to franchisees, potential franchisees, and then the customer base of the franchisee saying, hey, here's an email that you can send to your whole customer base, driving them back to your landing page so that you can get the benefit of that. And on the local side, we talked about the automations, the promotions, and one of the things that is great is if you create a promotion, you customize it on the state or the city level, you give it to all your franchisees, they can then send that out. They don't have to be guessing about what they should be creating. They love getting the free email that they can send to their entire customer base. So you supply, maybe 4 of those a month, at a minimum 1 of those a month, and then try to do 3 to 6 different automations a year. And then you're split testing these lists, you're nurturing these databases. And the other thing that's really important to keep in mind is email is critical, because all of these same databases of emails right here, you can also use for your paid media, right? So if you've got a segmented list of potential franchisees, you can run ads to them to become a franchisee. If you have local and they are sending emails to all their customers, And you can take that same list and you can upload that to any of these different paid media networks, and you can run ads to these customers as well. So the email address is critical, critical, critical. Now on the CRO side, conversion rate optimization side, it's very important you're consistently split testing, not only the home page of the website and the different service pages of the website, but in addition to that, the individual location-based pages, testing messaging, testing images, testing calls to action, testing trust signals. All of these things are going to allow you to convert traffic for less. If you're running all this paid media, one little change, 10% increase in conversions across all of your different franchisee pages makes a huge difference. So critical that conversion rate optimization is part of the program. It always pays for itself. And then creative services. So once a year or twice a year, you should be doing a video shoot, a photo shoot. You should be looking at all your competitors, your customer reviews, your marketing positioning, and coming up with some really clear differentiating messaging. And there's nothing more fun than doing a 2-day asset shoot where you know all the messaging you're trying to get out there. You're coming out with photos, you're coming out with videos, all for the year. And then you take that, you chop that up for your email marketing, for your landing pages, and most importantly, for your paid media ads. Your paid media ads are going to perform so much better with this custom creative, and you can also take it, apply it to the overall website. So very important that you do this at least once, if not twice a year. Most of our clients are doing it 2 times a year, so they've got fresh assets a couple times a year, and they're making sure to stay ahead of the competition. Recently, we did this with one company. We were able to take their ad spend down from $300,000 a month to $200,000 a month because the new creative that we created increased their leads so much. And I cannot tell you, one strong customer testimonial piece of creative or one really strong shoot, and it completely changes your whole ad game. So hear me on that one. Definitely something you're going to want to look at. And then franchisee websites. So not only do you need a corporate website, but you need a corporate website that has pages for every single franchisee that is maintained by you. You would create one beautiful website, and then you make sure that you maintain all the pages and all the website for them. So for example, if you were looking at Dunkin' Donuts, so Dunkin' Donuts has this site right here, and they maintain this for all of their individual franchisees. And as you can see here, like I was talking about from the SEO perspective, they've got the map on here, their hours, certain features, and they've optimized this for the individual location. And they've also optimized it so you can see Dunkin', the exact address, and they're optimizing it for coffee, espresso, and donuts. One thing I don't love about what they've done here is how they've kind of set this all up on a subdomain, and I could definitely support them here on some better rankings in Google. But in general, one of the things that they've done here that's good is they have individual pages on all their franchisees. Now, really what they should be doing is having it off of the main domain, English, state, city, the individual location, and they should be optimizing all of these pages a little bit more for best coffee, best espresso, best donuts, and a little bit less than the individual address. And that's something that they could work on here. But what's critical is, they've set up, I'm sure, tracking for this, and hopefully tracking for all these different things on this page that then feed directly into a dashboard. Now, just in closing out today, I want you to think about one thing. When somebody does a search for your brand name, what comes up? Are you seeing a really positive reflection inside of Google? That's why these ratings and reviews are so important. But even more importantly, when somebody Googles the biggest keyword, are you running an ad at the top, and do you have the majority of the impression share? Are you running a local service ad? Are you showing up as one of the top places? Are you showing up as the #1 option in the map? Are you showing up on all the different review sites? And as part of any good franchisee marketing program, you want to make sure that you're showing up in all those areas, you're tracking the amount of clicks, you're tracking the amount of leads that are coming in, and that when somebody hits the page, you're capturing an email address or cooking them and then serving them ads throughout the entire web, and you've got all that put together. So thank you everybody for your time today. That is what I have for you on franchise marketing services. And again, I go back to the most important thing is just the communication. So making sure that you understand executive reporting, making sure that you are being really high touch, making sure that everybody has a great feel of corporate as well as the individual agency that you're working with. If you need any help on your franchise marketing for corporate, that's usually the best place to start. And then after you've got the good corporate program in place, doing a couple presentations where you present to all the franchisees, show them all the great stuff you have. You champion an agency as the preferred vendor, and Ignite Visibility would be more than happy to do that, or at least talk to you about it and see if it's a good fit. Thanks again, everybody. John Lincoln, CEO here at Ignite Visibility, and I really hope you appreciate the presentation today. If you want to learn any more about franchisee marketing or any of these different services, go ahead and send us an email at sales@ignitevisibility.com. We love doing this. We're passionate about it, which I think is kind of rare. Hope you have a great day. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.